Lewis Hamilton has no intention of finishing up with a high five in Mexico. 10 years since Lewis Hamilton won his first Formula One World Championship, he is almost certainly but days from a fifth. He goes into Sunday's Mexican Grand Prix as already the most successful British driver and will likely emerge from the grand, noisy, colorful maelstrom of the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez behind only Michael Schumacher in the record books and level with one Manuel Fangio. The Mercedes man is taking nothing for granted, but ominously for his competitors he suggested in Mexico he now has his sights set on greater glories. Hamilton has to finish only 7th to secure his 5th title, while Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel must win just to stay in the game. Hamilton was the champion-elect at the previous Grand Prix in the US, but a combination of car problems and strategy calls denied him a coronation. Nothing short of a DNF is likely to do so on Sunday, and, if he does close it out, he will have equaled Fangio and stand only 2 behind Schumacher. Hamilton took his first F1 title for McLaren in 2008 in his second season, but did not win another until 2014, a year after he had switched to Mercedes, a move considered questionable at the time but has since proved positively prescient. 2 further championships followed, but he has always been reticent to suggest how far he can go. In Mexico, however, when asked how he felt now, a decade on from that first title, he gave an emphatic indication he is more motivated than ever. "I've still got more to do. There are so many different things that happened in that time and I waited a long time to get the second," he said. "I could easily have stayed where I was and I wouldn't be sitting here with the ones I have now. It's been interesting, the journey and the different decisions I have taken. But I am very grateful for the route I have been on." "I feel incredibly fortunate to be in the position I am in, but I feel like I have quite a lot left to do." He has always denied targeting Schumacher's record, but with his contract with Mercedes set to run until the end of 2020, it is hard not to imagine he must believe it is achievable. Hamilton is 20 wins behind the German's record of 91, and between 2014 and 2017 he has averaged 10 a year, with 9 this season already. It is an extraordinary achievement, unimaginable to the 22-year-old who took to the grid in 2007. He showed such huge promise then, but now 33, has developed into one of the most complete drivers of his generation. This season he has driven as well if not better than at any point in his career. When he started out, when his father, Anthony, and McLaren's Ron Dennis would have been his sounding boards, Hamilton now confers with other greats of this era. "You can take something from other athletes' experience," he said. "They understand the physical and mental side of what you are doing." Earlier this year one was messaging Serena Williams, when she was at Wimbledon, picking her brain, "How do you prepare?" She would say, "Only you know what I am going through." That is quite a cool relationship to have with someone. He has been on an exceptional run of form to reach this position, winning 6 of the 7 races before the US Grand Prix, and there is no reason to think he and Mercedes will not conclusively finish the job in Mexico. Their car has been almost bulletproof this year, with only 1 DNF for Hamilton after a fuel pressure problem in Austria. His lowest finish was 5th in Canada, one of only 3 races in which he failed to claim a top 3 spot. These are results that reflect the special place he occupies as a sportsman, something in which he is reveling. "Even though you're improving, the competition improves, different circumstances arise," he said. "But this year particularly has been one of the most enjoyable years with the things that I have been faced with." "So if I were to win the title, I think it would definitely be one I would be probably most proud of and be able to appreciate most. Finishing with a win is far from a given. Ferrari enjoyed the better pace in Texas, where Kimi Räikkönen won after they rolled back upgrades brought to the car since Singapore, and they will expect to be strong again in Mexico, where Red Bull also will be competitive. The thinner air owing to the altitude of Mexico City helps reduce the power disadvantage of Red Bull's Renault engine, and they have targeted the race as one where they expect to compete at the front. Red Bull did indeed prove quick out of the box. Max Verstappen topped the timesheets with Daniel Ricciardo in second in both practice sessions. Hamilton was in seventh on his qualifying simulation in the afternoon with his teammate Valtteri Bottas in ninth, while Vettel was in fourth with Räikkönen in eighth in practice 2. Max Verstappen aims to spoil Lewis Hamilton's F1 title parade at Mexico GP. Lewis Hamilton is confident of closing out his fifth Formula One championship on Sunday, but faces a real threat from Red Bull's Max Verstappen, who won in Mexico last year. The Mercedes driver has a 70-point lead over Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel and needs to finish only seventh to be the champion, while his rival must win to keep his chances alive. Verstappen is brimming with confidence after picking his way through the field from 18th place to finish second at the US Grand Prix, and the 21-year-old is confident he can triumph at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. "This is definitely the best chance for me to win out of the last 3 races," the Dutchman said. "In qualifying we may not have a chance, but in the race we seem to be working well, so I expect this to better than Austin." But Lewis will want to win, so I don't think that will change anything. If Hamilton does claim the F1 championship, the 33-year-old will have equaled Juan Manuel Fangio's 5 titles and will be 2 behind Michael Schumacher. "I am really enjoying racing. I am here to race. I am here to win, to deliver the championship for the team," he said. "I choose what I am focused on. I don't allow any negativity in. I am on a positive wave at the moment." "If there was one point between us it would be a lot more intense, but I am a decent amount of points ahead, so that does naturally help a little bit, but I think it is more the experience." Last year Hamilton sealed his 4th title in Mexico with 9th place. A crash with Vettel on the opening lap put Hamilton to the back of the field, from where he had to fight back to secure the place he needed. It was a nerve-wracking race that Hamilton admitted had been a horrible way to do it, to be honest. He was unequivocal that he did not expect there to be any poor sportsmanship, given a DNF is likely to be the only thing that prevents him from taking the title. "It has never in my entire racing career come into my mind," he said. "I feel there is a great respect from drivers. I have not felt any disrespect or negativity from any drivers. Everyone is here to do their job. I don't think anyone will taint their own history or future by doing something." Ferrari must match Mercedes' teamwork to give Vettel a lift for 2019. The title is long gone for Ferrari and Sebastian Vettel, and they know it. Indeed, it would be hugely surprising if Lewis Hamilton does not win his 5th championship in Mexico this weekend. Yet for Vettel and the Scuderia, presenting a coherent and constructive challenge for the last 3 races could be cause for optimism in a season when they have let the championship slip away. After showing strong pace at the US Grand Prix, where Kimi Räikkönen won and Vettel believed he had the speed to do the same but for his grid penalty and spin, Ferrari seemed to have found their mechanical mojo again. They did so, Vettel admitted, by rolling back most of the upgrades they have brought to the car since Singapore. The German said they had gone down the wrong route, which had cost them, and had compounded that error by being slow to identify why they had lost their pace advantage. At the same time, Mercedes extracted more from their car when it mattered. Like last season, then, when Hamilton wrapped up the title in Mexico City, Ferrari have failed to maintain their challenge in the final third. They can address this, but, if they are to challenge again next year, they must focus on the bigger picture. Vettel's misjudgments this season have been well documented and now include that clash with Daniel Ricciardo in Austin. His team have been equally culpable, and that is a grievous combination when battling Hamilton and a Mercedes team who are functioning better than ever after 6 years together. Ross Brawn, the Formula One technical director who previously won 5 titles with Michael Schumacher at Ferrari, clearly believes there are issues with driver and team. "I certainly don't want to put Vettel in the dock," he said after the US Grand Prix. "But these incidents can no longer be seen as coincidence, but rather they would seem to indicate that Sebastian is a bit out of sorts at the moment." Brawn is perhaps being generous, given Vettel's very costly errors at Hockenheim, Monza and Suzuka. But he also believes the Scuderia are not yet the complete package. Lewis Hamilton unhappy with Mercedes' tactics at US Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton questioned his team's tactics after his third-place finish at the US Grand Prix, coupled with Sebastian Vettel finishing 4th, prolonged the title fight for at least another week. "As a team we didn't perform that great today, and that's not something we usually do, so we'll go back to the drawing board, we'll regroup," the Mercedes driver said. "We've had some incredible performances, really good and consistent. For us, this was like a double bogey." In golf, Ferrari have made crucial errors in recent races while Mercedes have looked solid, but here Hamilton was called into the pits for a tire change on the 11th lap during a virtual safety car period, but the new tires did not last and began to blister late on, requiring a second stop, while the race winner, Kimi Räikkönen, stopped only once. Though Hamilton was gaining ground at the end, the deficit was too much to make up and he finished behind the fence Ferrari and the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. He had begun the race in pole position but immediately surrendered his lead as Räikkönen, on the front row and using softer tires with better grip though less durability, made a superior start. "It was a bit of a surprise, but you can't always get it right," Hamilton said. "It was a difficult day. Not our best, but congratulations to Kimi. I know it's been a while, but he drove fantastically well today." It was Räikkönen's first win since his triumph in Melbourne in 2013. "I was pretty confident that we had the speed," the Finn said. "Obviously the tires is an unknown. It doesn't really change my life one bit. Since he is joining Sauber in 2019, it might prove the 39-year-old's last victory of a Formula One career that began in 2001. Hamilton will get another chance to wrap up his 5th title next Sunday in Mexico City. He finished only 9th there in 2017, but that result was enough to seal overall victory. After Sunday's race he made his determination clear: "For me it doesn't matter when you win the championship as long as you get it done." Lewis Hamilton shares blame with team over failure to close out F1 title race. Lewis Hamilton says he has no intention of blaming his Mercedes team after their strategy at the US Grand Prix meant he was unable to close out his 5th World Championship. The British driver is still in a commanding position to take the title and insisted he would regroup with the team to ensure they were in the best possible position to finish the job at the next round in Mexico this weekend.